Telling lies is insidious and destructive in nature on many levels, but especially when you're lying to little kids about their own genders.
I lived 8 years as a female named Laura Jensen after undergoing gender reassignment surgery in April of 1983. I started as a 4-year-old kid in 1944. So I'm bringing to this conversation today 74 years of firsthand experience in some way, either living it or trying to deal with it or trying to recover from it. It's important, I think, to understand that everything that we've heard today is damaging to children. And we get letters from either the parents or the transgenders themselves asking for help after they've lived the life like I did for 5, 6, 15, 18, 20, all the way up to 30 years. And they're saying, Walt, can you help me detransition? This was the biggest mistake of my life.
Truth is truly treason in the empire of lies. And truth is the new hate speech. Something we all need to understand is truth isn't truth because you or I say so. Truth isn't truth because we got all of our neighbors or maybe even a whole country full of people to agree on something. Truth is truth, regardless. It doesn't matter if anybody believes it, it's still truth. And if nobody believes it, it's still the truth. From the time we were born until the time we die, we are constantly being bombarded by lies. One of the first things it starts with is this right here. We're told that this is money. Now, this is currency, but it is not money. As a matter of fact, it's called fiat currency. Fiat means it's $5 because I say so. Just take my word for it. This has always been and always will be money. Currency, money. Really easy, really simple. And you and I don't get to make the rules. Nobody gets to make the rules. Truth is truth, lies are lies, and never the twain shall meet. So when you have somebody like Charlize Theron, or however you say her name, and she's got a boy who comes up to her and says, I'm not a boy, and she says, there you go. Now I have 2 daughters and we get to live happily ever after, and I get to protect my children. You're not protecting your children by solidifying them in a lie, by comforting them in a lie. A boy is not a girl because he says so. Just like this grapefruit is not an avocado because the grapefruit says, I'm an avocado. Oh, there you go. It's an avocado. Look at that. Smell the avocado, taste the avocado. It's not an avocado because the grapefruit decides to be an avocado. A boy is not a girl because he decides to be a girl. And YouTube, you can take this video down or demonetize it or say that I'm engaging in hate speech or I'm bullying and harassing somebody. But the point is, what's being eliminated these days is truth. Even this right here, government. Government is a lie. It's a construct of the mind. Government means somebody has the right to control you. Do you think somebody has the right to control you? Does somebody have the legitimate right and authority over your life, to lay claim over your life in any way, shape, or form at all? Government, governo, to govern or to control. Mentis, mind, control the mind, or mind control. It's literally a mental game. And so I want to play this clip by Walt Heyer, who transitioned from a man to a woman back to a man again. Listen to his words. I don't agree with everything he says, especially when he starts talking about the psychotherapy and all this kind of stuff, because I think it doesn't rest. Healing somebody's mind does not rest on psychotherapy or a psychotherapist. It rests on regaining control in your life, or having truth gain control in your life. It's about truth versus a lie. It's about a grapefruit saying I'm an avocado, or an avocado thinking I'm a grapefruit, or this $5 bill, people thinking that's money when this is real money. It's about recapturing and reclaiming the truth, and just consenting to the truth in your life. That's really what it's all about. So I'm not keen on the idea of psychotherapy. If you guys can convince me empirically, logically, and steer my mind in a different direction. Let me know. Do people benefit from that? I don't know. I don't know if people benefit from psychotherapy. I think what they would benefit more from, and it costs nothing. It's just to sit down and say, okay, what is truth? What is truth? Because when we start veering away from the truth and start immersing ourselves in the empire of lies, that's where individuals fail. That's where society begins to crumble. If you think I'm wrong, again, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't just leave a dislike and hightail it out of here. This guy sucks, man. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Truth is not relative, man. I don't get to make the rules. You don't get to make the rules. We together don't get to make the rules. Truth is truth. Lies are lies. And that's just the way life is. And when you start coddling somebody in a lie, oh boy, yeah, you say you're a girl. Yes, you're a girl. Now I have 2 daughters and everybody's happy. Look, a parent's job, there is only one official, legitimate authority in this world, and that's a parent-child relationship. The parent has 100% authority over that child that they brought into the world, to protect that child physically, to mold and shape their character so that society can be better, and so society does not crumble, and to protect that child's mind against the onslaught of lies. We live in a kingdom of lies. Truth is the new hate speech. Truth is what's being demonetized. Truth is what's being censored. So I want to leave you with this guy, Walt Heyer. Listen to what he says. Leave your comments in the comment section below. I'm only going to play like a 5 or 6 minute clip of this long version, but I'll leave the rest of it in a link in the description below, and let the channel, who this video belongs to, know that High Impact Flicks sent you, because to me it's fascinating. It's fascinating. If you steer somebody scientifically, statistically, if you steer somebody along the lines of transgenderism, you're increasing their desire to want to commit suicide somewhere down the line, to the tune of 42% of those who transition want to eventually end their lives. So if you're for transgenderism, YouTube's for transgenderism. They're for the promotion of it. They're for injecting these genetically altering hormones into the bodies of little kids who they don't have the mental capacity to understand what's going on. They don't have experiences in life to protect them. That's why they rely on adults who are harming them, YouTube. So when you steer somebody along a road of coddling somebody in this idea, this false idea that the grapefruit is the avocado and the dollar is real money, or boys, you are girls, girls, you are boys. When you steer them in that direction, you're steering them statistically, logically, empirically down a path of destruction. Not only destruction for the individual, but destruction for society as a whole. And what I want to do with this video right here, YouTube, I'm not harassing and bullying anybody. I don't want people who become transgenders to want to commit suicide. Now, if you do, YouTube, go ahead, demonetize this video, take this video down, give me a community guideline strike again, go ahead. But while you do that, in your doing that, you're actually saying, no, I want them to be a high percentage more likely to commit suicide than the other part of the population. That's what you're saying, YouTube. If you want to keep this vital information, this information filled with truth and facts and logic and statistics, if you want to keep that from people, you're doing it to their harm, to their detriment, and it is you, in fact, who are harassing, bullying, and really wanting bad things to happen in people's lives. Guys, if you enjoy these videos, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, and share them with everybody you know.
I lived 8 years as a female named Laura Jensen after undergoing gender reassignment surgery in April of 1983. I started as a 4-year-old kid in 1944. So I'm bringing to this conversation today 74 years of firsthand experience in some way, either living it or trying to deal with it or trying to recover from it. It's important, I think, to understand that everything that we've heard today is damaging to children. And I was damaged by this, and I have some very strong points of view. So I hope that don't take exception to them. They come out of pain They come out of real life experience. I'm not trying to be hurtful to anybody, but I think that I have a website called sexchangeregret.com, and we get letters from either the parents or the transgenders themselves asking for help after they've lived the life like I did for 5, 6, 15, 18, 20, all the way up to 30 years. And they're saying, Walt, can you help me detransition? This was the biggest mistake of my life. I've met with people personally. We've had the honor and pleasure of working with people who are now detransitioning. Just recently, a school teacher, a pharmacist, and a good friend, Jamie Shoup. I think it's important for us to realize that there is actually nothing good about affirming a young boy, 4 years old, like my grandma did me. The moment you affirm a child, like my grandma did, putting me in a purple chiffon dress and telling me how cute I was, how wonderful I looked, is that at the very same moment that you're affirming that young person, you're telling them there's something wrong with them, that you're not right. That is child abuse. We need to begin calling it what it is. It's not affirming a child. It's causing them to be depressed and anxious about who they are. And then we go on to inject hormone blockers into them and begin altering their body. Can we begin to understand today from these discussions how destructive this is to the psyche? It's no wonder they end up with separation anxiety and bipolar disorder, dissociative disorders, schizophrenia, and many other disorders that they want you to ignore. They want to block any child from having access to psychotherapy. The only reason that I'm able to speak to you today is because after 46 years of dealing with this issue, I was able to detransition in 1990 after I had extensive psychotherapy, the very same psychotherapy that they're trying to prevent people from having. Why? Because they don't want them to detransition. Because somebody like me puts a real bad mark on the idea that it's all good, because it isn't. I've recently written a book, Trans Life Survivors, that has the stories in them. It's painful to get these emails from people whose lives have been totally torn apart. Men like myself, who was married, had 2 children, had a career. I was an executive for American Honda Motor Company. One of those therapists who was an advocate for gender change surgery told me that what happened to you as a child wearing that purple dress, the only way to solve that is to have cross-gender hormones and undergo reassignment surgery. That's the solution. Well, I trusted his expertise because Dr. Walker had actually written the original international standards of care for treatment of gender identity disorder or gender dysphoria. I'm here because he was wrong. I'm here because those standards of care have morphed into what they're using today. They haven't changed much. Yeah, they've gone through revision after revision, but the basic idea is that when somebody comes in, they can self-diagnose their gender dysphoria. We are manufacturing transgender kids. We are manufacturing their depression, their anxiety, and it's turned into a huge industry that people are profiting from after kids' lives are completely torn apart. The most vulnerable people in our society and adults are tearing their lives apart. It's really beyond my understanding, why we're even having this discussion, because it shouldn't be happening. I don't believe any doctor who injects a young person with hormone blockers should have a license to do so. I would prefer that they not have that ability. And I hope that people begin to realize this and begin to speak up about it. There is absolutely nothing good about affirming somebody in a cross-gender identity because it destroys their life. We won't see the consequences of what they're doing today until 10 or 15 years later. And there'll be somebody else speaking up like I am, saying, it was horrible what they did to me. They never should have done it.
That was the first 6 minutes of Walt Heyer's talk with the Heritage Foundation, and I suggest you watch the whole 14-minute version. I'll leave that link in the description below for you. It's very, very fascinating. If you guys do visit there, let them know High Impact Vlog sent you, and I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.